Good morning, my dear students. Welcome to yet another class of biology. So, we are going to continue the chapter tissue, and this is the last part of the chapter. And in today's class, we are going to take up the topics animal tissue, muscular and the nervous tissue. Fine. So, now let us recall what we have learned in the previous class. So, in the previous class, we have learned about the two types of animal tissue, that is the epithelial tissue and the connective tissue. Fine. So, the epithelial tissue is the covering or protective tissue in the animal body. Different epithelial tissue show different structure that correlate with their unique functions. Simple squamous, stratified squamous, columnar, ciliated columnar, cuboidal and glandular epithelium are the types of epithelial found in animal body. Bone, blood, cartilage, ligaments, tendons, areolar and adipose are the types of connective tissues found in animal body. Fine. So now let us look at today's objectives. Today's objective is to identify the types of muscular tissues. After today's class, you will be able to understand the types of muscular fibers, that is striated, unstriated and cardiac. You'll also be able to understand about the nervous tissue. Children, we have already discussed about the two types of animal tissue in the last class, that were epithelial tissue and the connective tissue. And today we are going to take up two more animal tissue, that is the muscular tissue and the nervous tissue. Fine. So this is the last part of the chapter. Okay. So now let us discuss first about the muscular tissue. Muscular tissues have cells which are elongated and are called muscle fibers. With the help of this tissue, we are able to make movements in our body. Muscle tissue contains some specialized proteins called contractile proteins, and the contraction and relaxation of the muscles takes place because of this protein, and as a result we are able to move the body parts. Fine. Now, the muscular tissue is divided, or we can categorize it into three types, that is striated muscles, unstriated muscles and the cardiac muscle. So, let us discuss about all the types of muscular tissue in detail. So, the first type of muscular tissue is striated muscles. Why are they called striated muscles? Now children, when these muscles are observed under the microscope, it shows alternate light and dark bands or striation. And this is the reason why these muscles are called striated muscles. Okay. Now, we all know that there are parts of our body which can be moved by conscious will. That means whenever we want to move, we can move, or whenever we think or we decide to stop, we will stop the movement of those parts. Yes, for example, if I want to move my fingers, I can move. If I want to move my hand, I can move according to my will. Yes, so the muscles, since it helps in the movement of the body, and the movement can be controlled by our will, is called voluntary muscles. Fine. And these muscles are mostly attached to the bones of our body, and this is the reason why it is also called skeletal muscles. So it is called striated because it shows alternate light bands or striation. Yes, light and dark bands or striation. It's called voluntary muscles because we are able to move these muscles according to our will or by conscious will. Okay, and it's called skeletal muscle because most of these muscles are attached to the bones. Fine. Now let us look at the structure of the cells of this tissue. Okay, the cells are long, cylindrical, unbranched, and multinucleated. Yes, they are long. You understood how it would look like? Yes, you can look at the picture which is displayed. Fine. So the cells are long, they are cylindrical, they are not branched, that means they are unbranched, and they are multinucleate. They have many nuclei. Okay, and they are present, or the organs in which these muscles are found are tongue, limbs, pharynx, and all the other parts in our body which can be moved according to our will. Yes, so the parts, whichever parts we can move voluntarily, have which type of muscle? It has voluntary muscles or the striated muscles. Yes. So children, let us now move on to the next type of muscular tissue, that is the unstriated muscles. Now, why is it called unstriated muscles? Remember that I mentioned why the first type is called striated muscles, because it shows alternate light and dark bands. So unstriated, why? Because it does not show such type of light and dark bands or striation. Fine. Then it's also called smooth muscles, and it's also called involuntary muscles. For example, when we eat food, the food enters our alimentary canal. Fine. When the blood moves throughout the body, it moves on its own through the blood vessels. We don't have to control the movement, or we cannot control the movement of these parts. Yes, so since we cannot control the movement of these parts, they are called involuntary muscles. They are made up of involuntary muscles. They will be working on its own. We cannot control the movement or contraction and relaxation of this muscles. Fine. So this is why this type of muscle is called involuntary muscles. Now the cells of this tissue or the muscles are long with pointed ends. They are long, or you can see spindle shape, and they are uninucleated. You can see the picture of the unstriated muscles. They are found in blood vessels, the iris of eye, ureters, bronchi of lungs. That means all these parts do not move according to our will. We cannot control the movement of this part. So they fall under involuntary muscles. Okay. The third type of muscle is cardiac muscles. It is also called heart muscles because this type of muscle is only present in the heart. So specifically it is also called heart muscles, and it shows rhythmic movement throughout life. Yes, it shows rhythmic contraction and relaxation throughout life. And the cells of these tissues are cylindrical, branched, and uninucleated. They also have only one nuclei, and they are also involuntary because we cannot control the movement of this type of muscles. Yes, we cannot control the movement of the cardiac muscles. Fine. So these are the types of muscular tissues found in animal body. The first question of today's class is, why is involuntary muscles called unstriated muscles? Children, I am sure that you have understood about the muscular tissue. Now let us understand about the nervous tissue. Yes, so let us take an example. When light falls on our eyes, when bright light falls on our eyes, what do? We close our eyes. When we touch a hot object, we withdraw our hands. Yes, so the light or the heat is called the stimulus, and the drawing of our hands or closing of our eyes is the response to that stimulus. So all cells possess the capacity of responding to stimulus because of the nervous tissue present in our body. The cells of the nervous tissues are highly specialized and they can respond to stimulus and transmit the stimulus very rapidly. The cells of the nervous tissues is called neuron or the nerve cell, and the neuron consists of a cell body, nucleus and cytoplasm. So here is a diagram of a neuron which shows the nucleus, the cell body and the cytoplasm. And you can see some hair-like structure is called dendrite, and the long extension is called the axon, and at the end of the axon is the nerve endings. Yes, so the dendrite receives the information from one cell, nerve cell, and it is passed on by the dendrite to the axon. So the axon will take the information which is received by the dendrite to the other nerve cell. Yes, so in this way the impulse moves from one cell to another and we are able to respond to any type of stimuli. Fine. Now, when number of many nerve fibers combine together by a connective tissue, it is called nerves. So the nerve impulses help in the movement of the muscles. Earlier I said that the movement of a body takes place due to the muscular tissue. Yes, it is taking place due to the muscular tissue, but the muscle cells are again stimulated by the nerve cells or the nervous tissue, which helps the muscular tissue to perform the action or do the movement. That means the nervous tissue and the muscular tissue has to go in correlation with each other in order to do all the movements, and as a result the animal body, yes, the animal body make different movements, or the information which is sent or information which is transmitted by the nervous tissues helps in the movement of the muscles, and as a result it causes the movement. Fine. That means children don't get confused. Muscle tissues have special proteins called contractile protein which helps in the movement of the muscles, that is contraction and expansion of the muscles, and as a result it causes the movement of the body. Now the muscles has to be instructed by the nervous tissues and then the muscles will act accordingly. Okay, so we have come to the end of today's class. So this is all for today's class, and also we have completed the explanation of the chapter tissue. Fine. So next class will be doing the question answers, exercise question answers, and then we will be completing our worksheets also. Fine. Worksheet also, and the chapter, the fundamental unit of life and tissue will come for your PT test. Since we have completed today's class, let us quickly summarize what we have done in today's class. So, in today's class, we have learnt that the muscular tissue consists of elongated cells called muscle fibers. Muscles contain special protein called contractile proteins which contract and relax, that causes the movement. Striated muscles show alternate light and dark bands or striations. The second question is, explain the structure of a neuron. So I have already explained. I am sure that you will be able to write down the answers of both the questions. Unstriated muscles do not show any alternate light and dark bands or striation. Cardiac muscles show rhythmic contraction and relaxation throughout the life. And the nervous tissues are highly specialized and transmit impulses from one part of the body to another. So this is all for today's class, and in the next class I'll be giving you the exercise question answers. Thank you and have a great day.